With us, Dr. Satyanan, Assistant Professor, Department of Applied Statistics and Data Science, Prasanna School of Public Health, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal. He has over 11 years of postgraduate teaching experience, numerous research publication and expertise in statistics, data science, machine learning and research methodology. We are delighted to have such an accomplished academician with us today. To extend a warm and eco-friendly welcome to our esteemed guest, I request Research Coordinator Dr. Shailashri Madam to kindly felicitate our resource person by presenting the plan as token of respect and gratitude. Thank you, Madam. And I welcome Dr. Shailashri Madam, Research Coordinator for this event. And I also welcome Dr. Nishida Madam for organizing 5 days of research workshop. Without taking too much of valuable time, I have a privilege to invite our esteemed resource person, Dr. Satyanan sir, to take over the session and share his valuable knowledge. Sir, thank you.
Good afternoon to all. Welcome to the statistical analysis session. I hope it will be completely new because how many of you heard about Jamuni? One man heard about Jamuni. And how many of you are familiar with S-spaces? That is very important for me. Because how many of you are familiar with S-spaces, it will be very easy for me to explain why JAMU is important. Unless you have not used the JAMU, S-spaces, it will be little difficult for me to highlight what is the key and easiest feature of JAMU. If you struggle with the S-spaces, then only I can say that. The same problem we are facing here, the same easiest option is there in the JAMU. Okay? So throughout the session, even though it meant that statistical analysis for high quality research, I do not include any single formula. I am not going to explain any deeper statistical term. My aim is when to choose which statistical method. So before choosing the statistical method, what are the things I need to look? So later, how to select which appropriate statistical method. Then once I selected the appropriate statistical method, what are the things to report? So that will be very important for a quality research. So high quality research in the sense we do not require advanced method. So even though you are using the basic statistical analysis also, we need to report some of the things. If you miss to report the basic things in the publication, then only it will be difficult to publish in a high quality journal. So that my throughout the presentation, why JAMOVI, why it has to be used for the data analysis. Then I will give 1 hour for hands-on experience with the JAMOVI. Later onwards, I will explain the advanced method, click and get the answer. So I will explain the advanced method also. So after every 1 hour, I will ask you any queries, whether you can follow me or not. So better to start with the JAMOVI. So interestingly, because most of you are not aware of what is JAMOVI, the obvious and simple question will be, what is JAMOVI? Is it a plant? Is it a software? Whether it is available in the internet, should I download it? Whether it is a paid version and all. So I will answer it. JAMOVI is a free open source software. Okay, JAMOVI is free open source software. Even you have the basic version, advanced version, AA, ML, any version, it is free of cost. So second one, it is built on R software. R software was there in 1990s kind of things. It is very old software R, where you have studied the MSc in statistics, where I have to write code to get the results. That is based on R. So now it is user friendly. Click and get the answer. So no need to write any even single code. Second one, it is user friendly and easiest version compared to the SPSS. Okay, compared to the SPSS. So next question. Okay, I said that JAMOVI is free, but why JAMOVI? There are so many spreadsheets are already available in the internet and all. Why I need to go to the JAMOVI only? So for that I have prepared one slide for you, because all of you are familiar with at least Excel, right? Through the Excel also you can carry out the data analysis. Through the SPSS I can carry out the data analysis. Then the JAMOVI. So that I have different component. First one is cost wise. Look at this cost wise. You know that even for the Excel, right? Even for the Excel, Microsoft Excel, you need to pay the initial version. Then for the SPSS you need to pay. So the cost wise I have the benefits because it is free of cost. Second one, it is very easy to use. Okay? It is very easy to use, even easier than the Excel, even easier than the SPSS. Third option, statistical capability. Can I use it for all kind of research? There are new methods are emerging. Can I use it for all kind of analysis? Yes. For example, you may have a MBA student. Can I use it for advanced method of structural equation model? Yes, it's already available. Factor analysis, multivariate analysis, cluster analysis. Whatever the method you mentioned is available in the job. So that no need to worry about should I use the only for basics or advanced. The last and the fantastic nature of JAMOVI is real-time output. If you just drag the variable, automatically output will be displayed. You know the SPSS, you go to the variable view, data view, click, somewhere the output will be there. You just move the variable here, automatically in real-time output will be there. So for example, if you carry out analysis for one variable, all the analysis you done. Next your guide says that do the analysis for this kind of data. You just change the name of the data, everything will be automatically updated. Everything will be automatically updated, no need to worry about that. So suppose you carry out the analysis, you share that file to the guide, guide can verify. The entire file can verify. If he just click, he will be able to get that, okay, what are the analysis you carried out. All the information will be there. You, as a student, you carry out the analysis, you can share the direct file to the guide also. Next, publication ready output. So that is easy for it because I have spent a lot of time for carry out the analysis. Why I have again spent the time to arrange it. So in the JAMOVI, it will be given in the arranged format also. Table, everything will be arranged. You can play with the title also. If you do not want the title of the table, you can change the title also. X-axis, Y-axis, graph or anything you can change at any time. So that is the one second advantage. Then it will be easy for the learning also. For example, if you do not have the collected data, but you want to just learn based on the JAMOVI, there are so many already available data set is there. You can click and get the answer, you can learn. So that we have a lots of advantage compared to the SPSS. Free, tabular format will be there, publication ready format will be there, and real time. You just move the variable, automatically output will be displayed. So I hope all of you have downloaded the Jamovie file. Just download. There are one more option also. If you are familiar with cloud, you no need to download also. Okay? In the Google only you can carry out the analysis with the Java. So if you download it, it's well and good. So I have shared the link, that is the advanced version. Recent and the advanced version will be there. So can you open, all of you, can you open the Jamovie so that it is easy for you to look at the possible option, because first 1 hour you have to practice well, then remaining option you will explore. Okay, remaining option you will explore easily. First 1 hour just follow me. I will provide you the instruction. I will teach you each and every possible option so that it will be easy for us to display. So look at this. If you downloaded the Jamovie and if you just open the Jamovie, only 2 windows will be there. Left hand side is, we call it as spreadsheet. Right hand side we call it as output. So all of you are there in this page. Same, right? So the same page. So I will explain remaining with the Jamovie only, so that it will be easy for you to follow. Look at this. So this is my Jamovie version. Don't worry about the options, because I have downloaded some of the options. For you, I think variable is visible, data, analysis, plots and the edits, right? The top options. Okay, just look at those. So I will carry out the analysis a little later. Look at this. In the top left, there are some grid lines. If you click on the grid lines, these many options are there. Top left grid line. These many options are there. New, that means you can create a new sheet. Open, that means if you already have the data set, you can open from your folder. Next, special import is there. If you have any folder, it is similar to open only. Then you can save it. You can save as both will be similar. And the second advantage is export. Okay, export. What is the advantage of export is, look at this. If I click on the export, look at the option available for me. That means once I completed all the analysis, I can directly convert it to PDF. I can save it as web page. I can save it as Jamovie file. I can save it as CSV. I can save it as these many options. Are you getting? So export in the sense, once you done with the analysis, how to save the analysis? How to save the analysis? You can directly save it as in the PDF also. So I will go to the first option, open. So look at this. In the open, when I click on the open, did you get these two options? This PC and the data library. How many of you get this? This PC and the data library. So what is that advantage? Suppose if you have data anywhere, just open this PC, click on this PC, it will ask you to browse. Look at the right top option, browse. That means you have to click until your folder will be reached. For example, if I have the data in the document, go to the browse, when I click on the browse, it will give you the folder. Suppose it is there in the download, look at this. It will show you the folder, download, click on the download and click on which data file. For example, first, student data set for Jamovi, and that data I have already shared. If I click on the data set and open, automatically it will come to the Jamovi. This PC, click OK, this PC, click on this PC, it will ask you where the folder is there. So in which folder it will be there. This PC, click and until you get the data. Suppose if you save the data in the desktop, go to the desktop and click on your Excel file. Okay, this PC, browse, which folder, click on the Excel. Automatically data will be read to the Excel. Whatever may be the format, Excel, CSV format, XLS format, or if you have already have the data in the SPSS format, then also no problem. Automatically everything will be read to the Java. Did you get that? Able to load the data. Okay. So repeat again. Grid option. Open. Then it will give you this PC. That means it will ask you in this PC where your data is. So I click on this PC. In the topmost, browse option is there. Browse. So browse in the sense it will ask you the location. Click on the browse. It will ask me where the data is there. Automatically it will list out all the possible folders. So my data set is there in the download. So that I click on the download. It will be display all the data set available in the downloads. The first data set is the practice data set I have given. So just double click also it will be open. Otherwise single click and open. So entire data set will be ready. Look at this. Whatever be the form. So next immediate question is, sir, I have not entered the data in the Jamovi. Can I enter the data in the Jamovi itself? Yes, option is there. For example, when you look at the first option, it was blank, right? For example, go to the new, it will create a blank one. It will give the blank one. So look at this. You can see that column A is there, column B is there, column C is there. You can type here only. Look at this. Here only you can type 21, next 23. Here only you can enter the data. Are you able to get? How you are entering the data in the Excel? Simpler. Spreadsheet only. So normal spreadsheet only you can enter the data only. For example, you do not want this A. Double click on this A. Double click on this A. It will give this window. That means I do not want A as my column name. I want to give it as it is the sales. You can rename it. Okay, A is there originally. Double click on that. It will give the option to rename it. Any name you can rename it. I will go to this option again. Don't worry, I will go to this option again. Just I said that even though you have not entered the data in Excel or SPSS, you can enter the data in the Jamovi itself. You can save it and you can use it for the purpose. Okay? So next, I will come to the Jamovi little later. Before carry out the hands-on experience with the Jamovi, we have to follow some of the rules to become friend of Jamovi. Unless you have a good friendship with the Jamovi, your analysis will not be there. Okay, analysis will not be there. That means for some of the variables, some of the type of the variables, certain statistical analysis we cannot carry. Okay, so that means for before starting any kind of data analysis, first I need to look at the data carefully. What are the steps to follow? Okay, what are the steps to follow? First, I already mentioned that import the data into the Jamovi. Import the data into Jamovi. All the possible data, as I mentioned, that you can import to the data. Okay, I have imported data. Now I am ready with the data. Now, as I mentioned that I have only shown the first option, this PC, right? Below which there are some other options there. It is known as data library. Data library in the sense, already Jamovi software has some of the data set. You can use it and you can learn some of the statistical methods. Look at what are the data set available. Air passenger data is there, CO2 data is there, air and eye color data is there. There are thousands of already inbuilt data set is there. If you want to practice with the Jamovi, if you want to learn with the Jamovi, all kinds of data is already there. Option is same. Open data library, the name of the data set will be displayed. Click on any data set, carry out the analysis. Okay, carry out the analysis. I will explain it little later. So next, once you have read the data, this is very important stuff. This is very important. Once you read the data, it is compulsory. As I mentioned that it is compulsory to check the type of data. Okay, type of the data. Unless you have coded the type of the data correctly, or unless you check the data, type of the data, all the analysis will be displayed. If you manage this step, automatically it is not possible to carry out wrong analysis. That means if you coded the data type correctly, if this is not able to fetch for any statistical analysis, it won't allow. So that's why it is easy for us. Next, what is the meaning of type of variable? How many type of variables you know? Categorical variable, right? When you collect the data, I may get the data related to gender. It is just categorical variable. I need to check that whether the gender variable is mentioned as categorical or not. So we call it as nominal variable. So nominal variable in the sense only for the naming purpose. No meaning at all. Male 0, female 1. I can give 1 and 2. I can give 3 and 4. I can give 4 and 5. So it is only for the naming purpose. I can code it, or else no problem. You just give the male and the female one. Okay. Well, please check that whether the variable is nominal or not. Suppose the variable is nominal, you have to check that whether it is coded as nominal only. Second, ordinal variable is there. I think most commonly you are using the ordinal variable. So ordinal variable in the sense it is also categorical variable. It is also categorical variable. Why that order? Sorry, why the name is there ordinal? It can, if you arrange the data or if you arrange the categories, it has the meaning. For example, male and female, I cannot say that who is more superior. Or else if I have the category like low, medium, high, I know that high is more superior than the medium, high is more superior than the low. So that this is also categorical variable, but ordering has the meaning. Did you get the difference? Nominal variable just for the naming purpose. Categorical variable only. Order does not have the meaning. Ordinal variable in the sense that it is also categorical variable, but order has the meaning. Okay, low, high, medium, poor, good and better. Order has the meaning. I have to check that if the ordinal variable is there, whether it is as given as ordinal only. Next variable is continuous variable. Okay, continuous variable. The fourth type is available in the Jamovi. Fourth type available in the Jamovi is usually the ID, serial number. Okay, serial number. So you have to give that which column is serial number. Otherwise, you know that even in the SPS also it will take that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there. Maybe this number, it will carry out the analysis. Some of the registration number may be there. 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. It look like it may be the rupees. It may be sales kind of thing. Number will be there. It will carry out the analysis. Are you getting? It is not the variable for analysis, right? Serial number, registration number is not for the analysis. Not application number also. It is not for the analysis purpose. At that time you just mention that it is ID. Once you mention that it is ID, it won't be available for any analysis. Okay? Any analysis. Next, how can I, before checking the data, how can I easily identify that coding is proper? So there are symbols to identify. Look at this. If it is ID, the blue color, can you see that? Download, blue color symbol is there. If it is there, it is ID. If it is continuous data, it will be given as scale kind of image. Can you see that? Age. Look at the image in front of the age. It is the scale image that is continuous. It can take any possible value. Next, if the variable is categorical, it will give 2 circles. Look at this. It will give 2 circles. Next, if the variable is ordinal variable, it will give like ladder kind of structure. Because ordering has the meaning. Look at this. Variable, continuous variable, image will be like scale, 2 circle is categorical variable, that ordinal variable is ladder kind of image will be there. So before carry out the analysis, please check, you know that whether the variable is categorical variable or the ordinal variable, whether the Jamovi has read it properly. Okay, read it properly. If you read it properly, then don't worry, just carry out the analysis. Some of the cases you know that it will be continuous variable. Yes, yes. No, I will. So the answer I have not started. I will display the answer. Okay. So for example, gender. Okay, you know that it is categorical variable. When you open and read the data to the geometry, it may become as that scale kind of structure. It comes as a scale kind of structure. What it indicates that geometry has read it as a continuous variable, but gender is not a continuous variable. Okay, gender is not a continuous variable. So that what are the analysis you will carry out, right? It will be displayed. Okay, you know that it is categorical variable. Once you read the data, just click on the title and see that okay, title is proper. Okay, continuous data, scale color. Categorical variable, that's circle. Ordinal variable, that image is there or not, just for the cross verification. You no need to code it again. You no need to code it again. Just plug up, okay, my variable is this much. After reading in the geometry, whether it is there in the same form. Okay, same form. Next. Once I will explain what are the analysis we can carry out, then directly we will go to the data analysis. Next, descriptive statistics. Don't worry, I am not going to teach you the theory of descriptive statistics. Next, why I need to report the descriptive statistics? I know that the data may be 384, 400 enter. When I look at the data, it's number. Data is just number. What is mine? As a researcher, what is my aim? I have to turn the data into information. I have to turn the data into single information. Okay, useful information. For that purpose, usually we will start with the descriptive statistics. What is the meaning of descriptive statistics? Descriptive statistics is a summary of the entire result. Okay, summary of your entire data. Summary of your entire data. So why it is useful? Because I need to understand the data. Is there any pattern? Is there any trend I can understood? If there is two group, I can have the comparison. Okay, I can have the comparison. So next, most common difficulties for me, for which type of variable, which descriptive statistics has to be there. Suppose I want to publish in a good journal, I must know that which is the, for example, when I look at the continuous data, everyone will report mean and standard deviation. If it is continuous data, everyone will report mean and standard deviation. Even though for the continuous distribution, mean and standard deviation is not the descriptive statistics always. Okay, it is not the descriptive statistics always. If this is satisfied, then only you have to report the mean and standard deviation. Otherwise, you have to report median. So my aim is to teach you when to report mean and standard deviation, when to report other descriptive statistics. Okay, that is simple. So that I have prepared a chart for you. First, look at the data. Assess which type of variable. Suppose if you feel that it is categorical variable, you please report frequency and bar diagram. I hope it will be easy for you. Are you getting? Check the categorical data. Frequency and bar diagram only you have to do it for the categorical variable. Suppose if you have not coded the data properly to the geometry or any software, 0, 1 and all, it will be 0 and 1 is there, 0 plus 1 by 2, 0.5, it will give the mean. Then how you will decide the gender? 0.5, how it will be gender? 0.6, how it will be gender? So that if you coded properly categorical variable, remember that plus point of geometry is you cannot compute the mean. If you coded gender as a categorical variable, you cannot compute the median. You cannot compute the mean because it is categorical variable. Categorical variable has to be given in the frequency and the bar diagram. Next option. The data cannot be categorical, right? The data may be continuous. Okay, the data may be continuous. You have not asked me the question that, sir, for the nominal data also frequency and percentage, for the ordinal data also frequency and percentage, yes. Okay, categorical, maybe nominal, maybe ordinal, both has to be given as the frequency and percentage. Now come to the right hand side. If the data is continuous, should I use the mean and standard deviation to summarize? No. You have to check whether the data is normally distributed or not, whether it is skewed or not. Okay, skewed or not, then only mean or median. For example, I will tell you, what is the mean of 20, 30, 40? Mean is 30, right? Mean is 30, 20, 30, 40, mean is 30, middlemost value, right hand side one number is there, left hand side one number is the middlemost value. Just imagine that 10, 20, and then one more number is 120. 10, 20, and one number is 120. So the sum is 150 divided by 3, mean is 50. Look at this, where is the mean? Is it middle? 10 is the lowest value, next value is the 20, mean is 50, where is mean? It is not lies in the middle, right? It is not lies in the middle. That's why I am saying that mean is not suitable for all kind of data. 10, 20, 30, middle is 20. This symmetric data, we call it as normally distributed data. That's why mean is proper. If the data is skewed, that means 10 is there, 20 is there, one more observation is true for it. Because of one more observation, entire central tendency will be shift to the right hand side value. Therefore, mean is not suitable for that. Look at this. How many of you will look into the data and carry out the analysis? Right? Therefore, we have to check whether the data is normal or not. No need to worry about that because click and get the after here. Even though my explanation will take 5 to 10 minutes, but while doing the geometry, click and get the answer. So check the normality if yes, okay, mean and standard deviation. If the data does not follow normality, it is not symmetric. You have to report median and the interquartile range. This is the first and foremost important term. Median and the interquartile range. Just follow me. I will display the result and immediately you have to follow the same. Okay, look at this. In the data set, what I have shared, I have the gender variable. Once you carry out the analysis, it will look like this. Look at this. This is the result of geometry. We will practice together. Okay? We will practice together. Look at this. Gender variable is there. I have given the frequency table. Right hand side supported by bar diagram. Okay? Bar diagram. Next. Continuous variable was there. Okay? Continuous variable was there. It is CGPA. CGPA of MBA student was data is there in your set. For that, first I check the normality. How? I have used the histogram or QQ plot or test procedure is also there. By using any one of the data, just look at whether the data is normal distributed or not. By looking the first graph only, I can say that it is normal distributed. If I cut the graph into two parts, both the parts are equal, so it is normal distributed. For this kind of data, mean plus or minus standard deviation. Look at this. I have reported the same. Okay, right? For this data, I have reported mean standard deviation because data is symmetric. Then I will show you one more data. So look at this data. So this is the monthly study hour of MBA student. Monthly study hours of MBA student. When I look at the plot, it is not symmetric, right? It is not symmetric. It is left skewed. It is left skewed distribution. That means if I cut it into two parts, it is not symmetric distribution. For this data, we have to report median and IQR. Median and IQR. Are you familiar? So when to report frequency, when to report mean and median, when to report median and IQR. Otherwise, the complete meaning will be mismatched. So now, let us practice with the data. Okay? So I hope already all of you have. So before that, yes.
Excuse me. Here it is not open.
Okay, all of you, just welcome. All of you, open the data set. Next, look at the column, please. All the variable columns. Age. Whether age is categorical variable or continuous variable. Look at the number and tell me. It is continuous variable, right? But Jamovi has given which kind of symbol? Circle kind of symbol. The circle kind of symbol is for what? It is categorical variable, right? Circle symbol means categorical variable. That means I know that age is continuous variable, but when I read the data, it has given me as categorical variable. So that I need to take the first step that I have to verify that and I have to make it as it is continuous variable only. What are the steps I have to follow? Just simple. Look at this. Just all of you double click on the age. Age wording is the double click. Did you double click? Welcome. Whether this window is open? So it will give that. But look at this. Variable name. If you do not want age, you can change it as age capital letters. It's left to you. So below, look at this. In the second row, third row, is it measure type? Look at this, measure type. By default, it is selected as nominal. That's why it has given the symbol as circle. So I know that age is a continuous number. Click on this. It has given me option that whether it's a categorical data, ordinal data, continuous data, ID. It is continuous data. I click on the continuous data. Automatically, look at the symbol in front of age now. Is it age? Scale. That means it's continuous data. So can you look at the age? You can directly click on the Excel sheet, automatically you can come out of that. Otherwise, can you see the arrow mark? Right hand side arrow mark, upward arrow mark is there, right? Just click on the arrow mark. It will come to the original place. Are you getting? So this is the one step you need to follow each and every time. Okay, each and every. Some of the cases will read directly. So I won't say that each and every time the coding may be different. No, coding may be proper, but you need to check. So now I will give the task for you. Please check the column name of other variable and make the correction. Wherever it is not there, please make the correction. Look at the gender variable. Is it categorical or continuous? Categorical. Is it coded as properly? Yes. So look at the remaining variable. Okay, look at the remaining variable. Please make the coding properly. First step. One file is not there. All other Excel will do it. So did the work? Gender category variable is fine. Then leadership is not categorical, it's ordinal because poor, good. So hierarchy is there, order has the meaning, so that I have to double click on that. It is not nominal, it is ordinal. So second variable is monthly hours, continuous variable, it is correct. Then CGP is there, correct. Then specialization is categorical variable, finance, HR or marketing, categorical variable. Attendance low, moderate, high. Again, it is not the just nominal variable, it is ordinal variable. Double click on the attendance, make it as ordinal. Then class preference, online, hybrid mode, it is category. So that what I have done, so my aim is to check whether I know the data type, whether the JAMOM has read it properly or not. Okay, read it properly or not. Now just follow the easiest option. As I mentioned that click and get the option. Click on the exploration. All of you. Click on the left hand side option, exploration. That means we are exploring the data. I don't know what kind of analysis I have to carry out. We are just exploring the data. Click on the explore. Can you see the descriptive statistics? Click on the descriptive statistics. Then it is self-explanatory. Look at this. Left hand side variable name is there. Right hand side it will say that what are the analysis you require. So that in the left hand side, okay, in the left hand side, all the variables name will be there. Left hand side, all the variable name will be there. Right hand side, it will give the indication whether which variable to pass. For example, gender is there. Are you able to see the gender? Click on the gender. Click on the gender and pass it through the right hand side with the arrow mark. Click on the gender. Click on the right hand side arrow mark. Did you get the result? No. You cannot get the result, right? You cannot get the result. I know that for the categorical variable, what I have to prepare? I have to prepare the frequency. Can you see the below? Below there is the option, tick box, right? Frequency table, just click. I got the result. Okay? I got the result for the categorical variable. As I mentioned that you must know what is the analysis you have to carry. Next, for the second variable, okay? For the second variable, leadership skill. I know that it is ordinal variable. Which is the most suitable descriptive statistic for ordinal variable? Ordinal variable. What is the most suitable descriptive statistics? Ordinal variable. Again, it is frequency table only. Just imagine that. Just pass it to the right hand side. No need to click anything. Automatically frequency table is updated. Look at this. Below. Look at the below. Table is already updated. Table is already updated in the right hand side. Pass all the categorical variables. Specialization. I want frequency table. Attendance. I want the frequency table. Preferred learning mode. I want the frequency table. All the analysis is ready. All the analysis ready. I want to carry out only one analysis and I want to copy it. Just look at that. You are getting the table, right? Keep the cursor in front of any one of the table and right click. Right click. Okay, right click. You can copy the table. Look at this. Right click. Right click. When you right click it, it will ask you that. Do you want to copy all the analysis? All the analysis part, group or table. I want this table only. You can just copy. Look at this. You can just copy. Right click. Okay, right click. Select table. And the copy option is there, right? Copy option is there. Just copy and wherever you want to paste, you paste it. Wherever you want, you can paste it. You can paste the table wise. You can paste the all the analysis. Suppose if you select right click and if you carry out all the analysis copy, all the entire analysis will be copied and you can paste wherever you want. Okay? Wherever you want. This is the advantage. Next. So look at the one more advantage. I think you are not familiar, you have not noticed that. No need to code the variable. Low 1, high, low 1, medium 2, then the high 3, because once you coded while writing the thesis and all, again you have to write it in the original name only, right? For example, male 1, female 2. But while carrying out the report and all, you have to write in the male and female only. Now look at this. Original name only you use. No need to change any coding and all. Otherwise it will give 0 and 1. Next I have to see, search my coding sheet. What is 1? What is 2? 1, 2, 3, 5 Likert scale. Whether I have given the 5 for highly satisfied or 1 for highly satisfied. That confusion no need. You will have in the original scale only. Look at this. Original scale only. Okay? Original scale only. So that this analysis is done. Next again same. The plot. Look at this. Below, can you see the plot? Below. Plot. Okay, plot option is there. Whenever you have the frequency table, it is bar diagram. Okay, bar diagram. So that I have to look for all the plot option. Histogram is there, density plot is there, box plot is there. I want to bar plot only. Just click on the bar. The plus point is right hand side. It will be the bar diagram for all the categorical area. So for the time being, please obey with the color it is given. You can change the color also. Okay. If you are not able to happy with this color, you can change to the other. Look at this. I just asked it to give the bar diagram. It has given me for all the analysis. Okay, all the analysis, all the pictures. I am not carry out the bar diagram for each variable separately. Look at this. Automatically it will come. What are the variables you selected? Automatically it will come. Next. Okay, I am familiar with the categorical data because I have only 2 hours time. I will move to the next one. Exploration. Again same. Descriptive statistics. Go to the descriptive statistics again. Descriptive statistics again. Okay. Here. Now you pass continuous variable. Okay. You pass continuous variable. Age. I will pass the continuous variable. Go to the descriptive statistics. Again start with any one variable. Continuous variable I pass. Okay. Continuous variable I pass. So once you compute the continuous variable right hand side, can you see the statistics here? Can you see the statistics? Can you click on that? Click on the statistics. That means it will ask you the question. What are all the information you want? What are the tick box you are selecting? That information will be there. For example, I want n. How many number of observation is there? Next, I want to count whether any missing number is there. Just check the box. Next, mean, median, mode, sum, standard deviation, variance. What are the information you want? You can carry. Okay, you can carry. Next, as I mentioned that before carrying out any analysis, my first step is when I look at the continuous data, I have to check the normality. I have to check the normality. So that once I select the age, I will go for the histogram. I will go for the histogram. Look at the histogram. Look at the histogram and tell me what is the nature of data, symmetric or not, or normally distributed or not, roughly. Right? Is this symmetric or not? So last time which variable you use? The CGPA, right? Okay, just check with it. Is it normal distributed or not? So that's why whenever you use the word plots, it will give the approximate idea. It does not give the exact idea, okay? It does not give the exact idea. Next, I want to make sure that whether it is normal or not, 100% surety I want. For that, there is a friend known as Shapiro-Wilk. This is the normality test. Are you getting? Shapiro-Wilk is the normality test. Click on the Shapiro-Wilk test. Click on the Shapiro-Wilk test box. Above the graph I got the values. Above the graph I got the values. Just click. Don't look at anything, just look at the p-value. I think you are familiar with p-value. The researcher is familiar with p-value. Just look at the p-value. So Shapiro-Wilk test, I look at the p-value. If the p-value is less than 0.05 or if it is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is data follows normal. We reject the null hypothesis. That indicates that this data does not follow normality. P-value less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis and conclude that data does not follow normality. Okay, does not follow normality. I came to know that my data does not follow normality. Therefore, I have to go for median and IQ. So that I will keep only median and IQ. Look at this. All the remaining I will make it as untick. I will make median, tick and IQ are tick. Look at this. Wait. Did you get this one? Descriptive statistics. What are the boxes you tick? Those information will be available in the descriptive statistics. Suppose if you want minimum and maximum, that's also you can tick. Look at this. Minimum and maximum. You can see the interaction. Automatically table will be updated. Look at this. In the table, n number of observation is there, missing 0, median, IQR, minimum, maximum. If you want any result, you can give. If you want to see the range, if you want to see the sum, any value you can. Suppose if you don't want a missing number, you just untick it. So automatically table will be updated. Okay, your table will be updated. Then if you want do it for any other thing, just look at this. Pass the other variable. Monthly study hours, pass. CGPA, pass. Can you see the dashboard table? Yes. P-value is less than 0.05, 0.01. So usually all the tests will be calculated at 5% level of significance. So here P-value less than 0.05. 0.5 is the threshold. But now the value is 0. If it is less than 0.008, that much small. Are you getting? So whenever the number is like 0.000001, so they won't write entire digit. They simply denoted as less than 0.001. So that is the indication that it is very small. So are you getting? Don't confuse with the 1. So usually we are comparing with the 5% level of significance. Since the p-value is less than 0.05. In fact, it is less than 0.01 also. That is not a problem for us. So you are writing p-value less than 0.05. Therefore, we reject the null hypothesis and conclude that data is not normally distributed. So that median and IQ you have to report. That's it. Ready? So now look at this. For other variable, you just try and look at the table automatically updated. All the variable in a single look. Just copy and paste. Those who are familiar with SPSS, now you can realize that how much is. As I mentioned that those who are familiar with the SPSS, struggle with the SPSS, they can fail easily. You can save this, look at this, you can save the entire analysis and you can directly share to your guide. You can guide. Now the beauty, look at this. Now the beauty of this result is, whatever the analysis you do, okay, whatever the analysis you carry out, if you just click on that, if you click on the table, automatically it will give that what are the boxes you click. For example, if you click on this graph, look at this. If you click on the graph, just click. If you click on the any previous analysis you've done, look at this. Now you carry out for the description, right? Suppose you carried out the bar diagram previously. Just click on the bar diagram. Just click on the bar diagram. What the other analysis you already done, it will give to the window of those variables only. Look at this. Automatically it will go to the window. What are the previously you are selected, frequency table, right? Automatically it will go to this previous page only. You carry out the continuous analysis to go to the next page. Wherever you click the analysis so that your guide can verify. You selected it properly or not, you coded it properly or not. Anyone can verify. If due to any statistician, they carry out the analysis, you can cross verify. So as I mentioned that it is real time. If you change anything, if you just throw it back, automatically table will be cut from the right hand side. Look at this, only 2 tables, or 3 tables are there. You can change the variable, send it back, automatically table will be updated. Real time update. That's why it's
There's a lot of accumulation cases.
yes, lot of accumulation will be there. Then you have to search which table it is there, which table I have deleted. No. So it is now automatically deleted. No need to worry about that. So right said that for this question, select 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 only. You select that only, automatically all the results will be there. And next, suppose you have the data and if you carry out the analysis, you know that 3 variables are there missing. And you have to search where the missing is there. For the advantage of JAM, it will ask, do you want to keep the missing value for the analysis or you just ignore the missing value and carry out the analysis? It will ignore the missing value and carry out the analysis. Even though you have not mentioned that missing value will be there, it will search and whenever the missing value is there, that row it won't consider. No need to worry about my data as missing value, no. If you keep it as blank, it won't consider for the analysis. Otherwise, just imagine that if you are collecting 300, 400 data, it is not a big problem. When you place an industry and all, there will be the transaction of lakhs of data. You have to search where the missing value will be. It's added. So that JAM will automatically don't consider the missing value for analysis. We don't consider missing value for analysis. Are you familiar with the JAM? So can I state the word user friendly? Because now this is that you have just had the friendship with 1 hour with the JAM. You will get the confidence that I can learn it. You cannot learn it everything in a single sitting, but you can practice it, okay? You can practice it. Next. So, next 20 minutes again I will do the hands-on experiment. Practice I will give. The remaining I will just display, okay? So now we will move to look at this. There are so many other options will be there. So my way of explanation is I won't start any statistical methods unless I have a research question. So remember that depends on the research question my statistical method. It is not my statistical method then your hypothesis. It's a reverse way. So that's why same data set, okay? Same data set. Now I will carry out the statistical inference. So before carrying out the statistical inference, first question you have to ask yourself is, I have the data. Why I need the statistical inference? Because most of the common thought is, I have the mean of 2 groups. I can see the mean of the 2 groups. Why your statistical test? I can see that mean is 50, mean is 60. Mean I am not saying. Why you need a statistical test? Remember that statistical test is for the general ability. That means why you carry out the study. So you want to conclude a conclusion regarding the population. Since the population is not reachable or not possible to reach each and every individual in the population, you selected some sample. Right? You selected some sample. But what are the conclusion you are writing is not for the sample. Right? It is not for the sample. You are generalizing for the population. Suppose you have to carry out a study for Dakshina Kannada, you collect sample from all the Dakshina Kannada. No. You will have the sample, random sample, and select the samples, carry out the analysis and you will write the result. But while writing the result, what you are saying that these many on an average, these many customers are there in the Dakshina Kannada. That means you are generalizing for the population. Therefore, statistical test is for the generalization. Are you getting generalization for the general population, whether it is same or not. That's why the statistical analysis will be carried out. Next, what is the usual practice? State your hypothesis, right? State your hypothesis. Look at the data. Data means nature of the data. Categorical variable, continuous variable, 2-group comparison, 3-group comparison, model building. What is your nature of the data? Then carry out the test statistic. Any test statistic will give the p-value. Look at the p-value and take the decision. If less than 0.05, reject the null hypothesis. If greater than 0.05, accept the null hypothesis. This is the common picture. Okay? Set the hypothesis. Look at the data type, nature of the data. Select the appropriate statistical method. Take the decision based on the p-value. There are many methods to take decision. Since you are familiar with the p-value, I have given in the p-value. So this is my logic of explaining. Hypothesis, statistical methods. Now let us move to the same data set. What the familiar data set? First question. As a researcher, I have a question. This is my research objective. Okay. To examine, is there any association between attendance level and the preferred learning mode. Okay, attendance level and the preferred learning mode. So if you remember, attendance level has continuous variable, categorical variable. It is categorical variable, right? Low, medium and high. Categorical variable. Next one, preferred learning mode. What are the options is there? Online mode, offline mode, hybrid mode. So here look at this, how to select the statistical method. One variable is categorical, other variable is also categorical. I want to find out the association between the two categorical variable. That is my objective. Did you understand that? First I frame the hypothesis. Then I check what is the nature of the variable. Both the variables are categorical. I want to find out the categorical variable, association between the categorical variable. Then the test has to be used is chi-square test. Okay, chi-square test. To find out the association between any two categorical variable, chi-square test. Next thing is assumption. Most of the time the researcher will ignore the assumption because they think that it is the headache of statistician. No, it is not the headache of statistician. For example, I have a fever medicine. Can I give the same kind of dose for the children? Can I give the same dose for the older people? No. The same fever medicine only, the chi-square test only, but it may not be useful for all the situations. It may not be available for all kinds of situations. So therefore, assumption has to be checked. For example, what is the age group of the patient? Small age group, kid of 2 to 3 years. All the dosage is not possible. That's why we have to check the assumption, then carry out the method. For example, sir, if the assumption is not met, no worry. Option is available in the JAMO. It will ask you that whether this assumption is met, use this. If the assumption is not met, use this. That option is there in the JAMO. No need to worry about JAMO. But what is your responsibility? You have to check for the assumption. I will show that. It will ask you the question. Use this method if this assumption. Use this method, this assumption is not satisfied. So that much user friendly it is there. But your case is to check the observation. Now look at this. All the observation will be independent. What is the meaning of observation independent means? I have collected the opinions of the different student. If you are collecting the observation of the different student, each observation is independent. Okay, independent. Second assumption is expected cell count should be more than 5. Expected cell count should be more than 5. What is the meaning of expected cell count? Just imagine the frequency table. High-end classroom is there. Okay, look at this. High-end classroom. What is that meaning? High-end classroom. Those who prefer classroom teaching, and how many of them are having the high attendance? How many individuals are there? 40 students. Similarly, we want that count as more than 5. Use the usual proper chi-square test. The cell count should be more than 5. Sir, if it is not there, because some of the cases, there may be only few combinations. I said that there is other improved version of chi-square test. They use that test. Are you getting improved version of chi-square test only? Use that test. When I look at the frequency, just look at the frequency. Is there any frequency less than 5? No. So I make sure that this frequency is more than 5. I can use the chi-square test. Are you getting chi-square test? That's what the one things you have to check. So this is the result. I copy paste from the JAMO. You will practice it later. So while carry out the chi-square test, first it will do the frequency table for you. Just have a look on the frequency table. No cell count is less than 5. I am ready to go with the chi-square test. Next. When you click on the chi-square test, this many result will come. Okay, this many result will come. I am not bothered about anything. I will search for the p-value. Look at the right hand side p-value. P-value is 0.071. I know that. If it is less than 0.05, reject the null hypothesis. Accept it. 0.071. So that we do not reject the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis says that no association. Alternative says that there is association. So here we are accepting the null hypothesis and conclude that there is no sufficient association between the two. Conclusion is done. So next question, sir, if I not selected the assumption, I am not bothered about the assumption and all. The p-value may get different. Because of that we may get the p-value small and we wrongly conclude that there is association. In this sample there is no association. I know that as a researcher in the theory it may be association. Online education, higher attendance, offline education, that may be there. So in this data set there is no association between the two. Okay, look at this. What I have done? I check the nature of the variable, select the statistical methods, it is already available. Then I look at the p-value, take the decision. Next. Second objective. Okay, second objective. Look at the wording to compare the mean CGPA between male and female student. So that means here my task is CGPA continuous learn between male and female, two group comparison. Look at this. CGPA between male and female. This problem is two group comparison. Okay? Two group comparison. So first I will keep the null and alternate hypothesis that there is no difference between the CGPA between male and female. Alternate hypothesis, there is difference. Next, here, what are the assumptions to check? Okay, what are the assumptions to check? Here the important one is assumption check is, one is the normality. Okay, one is the normality assumption. You can use the histograms, normal test, anything. Second assumption is variance. Okay, variance. Second assumption is you have to check the variance. What it means that I am comparing the two groups, male and female. Okay, what I assume that I am comparing the two groups, male and female. The variance of this group, okay, spreadness of this group and the spreadness of this group should be same. Then only like to like comparison will be meaningful. This group has different spreadness. This group has not this different spreadness. The usual available independent t-test or t-test what you are using, that is not able to handle that. So if the variance, two group variants are different, again it t-test only, but it is not the usual t-test, it is a modified version. Or again the t-test only, modified version. So what is the usual t-test will do that? It assumes that male follows normality, female follows normality, one assumption. What is the variation inside the male? What is the variation inside the female? It is almost same. So now I am comparing the two groups, whether the mean is same or not. Okay, whether the mean is same or not. So for this, I am going to use the independent t-test. Okay, for this it is a t-test. It is t-test. If the assumption is not satisfied, I will tell you what is the assumption option is there in the Jamu unit. Automatically it will be there. So now I will carry out. First step is I check the normality using Shapiro-Wilk test because I am familiar with that. I do not look at any other value. Slightly run to the p-value. P-value is 0.025. Null hypothesis normality since p-value is greater than 0.05. Normal distributed. My one assumption is satisfied. Second assumption, variance test. Again the p-value. Variance the test, again the p-value. Null hypothesis variance are equal. I look at the p-value and conclude that variance are equal. Normalities are satisfied. Equality of variance also satisfied. Then it will give me a hint that I can use the t-test. It will give the hint that I can use the t-test. So that I go to the t-test. I go to the t-test, look at the p-value and take the issue. So what this t-test will tell you? So it will tell you whether the mean between the two groups are same or not. Okay, mean between the two groups are same or not. Most of the time, what is the main problem for us? We do not check the assumption. Whatever may be the two group data, we will apply the independent t-test. No, wrong.
Sample size.
It is wrong. So we have to check the assumption. If it is satisfied, this option. Not satisfaction, still I am happy. Option is there. Alright, option is there. Now let us go to the Jamu. What are the options in this?
We don't consider about the sample
Sample
size,
size.
greater than 30 and less than 30 or not. We don't do
There
that.
is
In
a
statistics
minus
we do that, right?
Yes.
Here,
So usually, what is the logic is there? While carried out the two group comparison, we will write it as t-test. So in the theory, while teaching the two group comparison, if the sample size is less than 30, t-test. If it is more than 30, z-test will be same. Okay, z-test will be same. So what is there in the Jamu is, the name is t-test. Okay, the name is t-test. Suppose it is sample size less than 30, automatically it is usual t-test only. If it is more than 30,
it's the same.
yeah, it will be the
That test.
z-test only. So automatically background is working the z-test only. So what is the meaning of t and z-test is, the sample size is less than 30, it will find out the table value of t distribution. If it is greater than 30, it will find out the table value of normal distribution. Z-test means it is a normal distribution. So automatically in the background it will be taken care. Or getting less than 30, we say that it is better to compare with the t distribution. That's why t-test. Greater than 30, approximately data follows normal distribution. Therefore, we use the z-test. Because whatever we will follow, even though you compute the t-test, its value and the z-test value both will be same for the last sample. That is, we call it in the probability there is central limit there. Central limit says that whenever I am given to the large sample, whatever the distribution is there, all the distribution will convert to the normal distribution. That's why we are using use of the test z-test. Ready? So that's a valid question. Sample size. Next, jump to the Jamu. Now I will give only 5 minutes time because you already have the friendship with the Jamovi. I will say that what are the option. Now look at this. Can you see the option? After the exploration, what is the option available? T-test. Look at this. Name itself is guiding me. Click on the T-test. Click on the T-test. What it asks? Independent T-test, paired sample T-test, one sample T-test. So what is our case? Independent T-test, right? Independent T-test means for the two group. Independent T-test. I will tell you when to go for the paired bit later. Click on the independent T-test. Okay? Independent T-test. When I click on the independent T-test, left hand side variable name will be there, right hand side self-explanatory. What is there? Please pass the dependent variable. Can you see the symbol? Which kind of symbol? Scale. That means continuous variable you have to send there. That's it. Okay, what are the variable I am comparing? CGPA. Okay, CGPA pass to the right hand side. Look at this. What is the advantage for me? You cannot pass the categorical variable. In the dependent variable, you cannot pass the categorical variable. Even if try it is not possible. That's why I said that coding is important. So you cannot do the wrong. Because you have taken care in the first step itself. Okay? CGPA pass. Next, below what is the option? Grouping variable. What is your grouping variable? What is my grouping variable? Gender. Because I want to compare between male and female. Click on the gender. Set it in the grouping variable. Automatically result is already there. Okay? Result is there, but I am not happy. Why? Automatically I got the result, but still I am not happy. Because I missed the important step. Normality assumption. I have not checked. So look at this. Below. So can you see the assumption check? Click on the normality test. 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 Again the same routine p-value. Since the p-value is greater than 0.05, data follows normality. Fine. Second assumption is I have to check the equality of variance. Above the normality, one more test is there, homogeneity test. That is the variance test. Click on 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 the variance test. Again I got the p-value. Since the p-value is greater than 0.05, variance are equal. Variance are equal. Normality assumption satisfied. Variance assumption satisfied. Now I can go with the t-test. Now look at this. Can you see the three option? Can you see the three option left hand side? Can you read out for me? One is the student t-test. Second one is Welch. Okay? And the man. I will tell you when to use all. In the case, if you satisfy normality assumption, if you satisfy the variance assumption also, please select first option, student t-test. You got the result? Whatever may be there, conclude. Okay, conclude. Next, normality assumption may be satisfied, right? Equality of variance cannot be satisfied, right? In real life that may be happen. At that time, you have to select the second option. Look at this. Second option, not the first one. I will repeat. Normality satisfied, equality of variance is not satisfied. Again, it is t-test only, but not the student t-test. It is Welch t-test. Okay, Welch t-test. Done. Third option, sir, normality itself is not satisfied. If the normality is not satisfied, don't worry about the variance test. Directly go to the non-parametric test, that is man-Whitney test. Man-Whitney test. Look at this. All the option is available. No need to search for anything. When to use student t-test, when to use Welch test, when to use man-Whitney test. And there are so many options you can play with those options. For example, if you are using the student t-test, if your sir or journal asks you to report the mean difference, you can write the mean difference also. You can click, you will get the mean difference. If you want to carry out one hypothesis, group 1 is greater than group 2, you can click. Group 1 is less than group 2. All the possible analysis you can carry out. Just spend 2 minutes time and play with the options. As I mentioned that, for explanation, it took 20 minutes. Please check this assumption, please check this assumption. But when carry out the analysis, look at this. Click and get the answer. But only my aim is to teach you when to use first option, when to use second option, when to use third option. Because whatever the data you collect, you may fit into any one of the situation. Obviously, you will fit into any one of the option. That's it. So most of the cases is done. Any doubts? Any doubts? Online you can ask. Any doubts? Like this, if it's hands-on, it's more easy for those who are practicing this. Normally it is not satisfied. No, normally. When it is normally it is not satisfied, no need to check for the variance assumption. When the data does not follow normality, directly manual. For example, if it is Likert scale kind of data, usually does not follow normality. Likert scale of kind of data does not follow normality. Manuality, non-parametric manual numerator. Likert scale.
Non-parametric means it does not make any
Assumption regarding the distribution.
Yeah.
So it does not make any assumption regarding the distribution. Student t-test and batch t-test assume that it follows normal distribution. Next question is whether the variance are equal or not doesn't matter. But the MAP t-test will not worry about the distribution assumption. Variance and all will not come to the picture because distribution itself is not there. Obviously, variance will not be there. So we have to remember that. If it is not this kind of coding and all, I have to remember that. Okay, two-group comparison, non-parametric question is manual test, Pushkar value is there, so many non-parametric question is there. Here I don't need to remember the name. If I come inside the JAMA, we automatically name will be there. Right? Otherwise, what I have to do? Which is the most suitable method for non-parametric method for two group? Now look at this. It will be there.
SPSS should not give all these things.
Yes. That's why it is much easier. Much easier.
Actually, ಅದು ಕಾಫಿ ಟೀ ಯಾವ
Yes. Then only Welch. Because Welch assumes that population is normal. But variance of not equal assumption is not required. Because Welch means it is a corrected version of student t-test only. It will have the correction factor for not having the same variance. Let's have the t-rate. Because if I am able to reach you until here, the remaining is easy for me.
over by the time the skip comes. So you can also have one.
So for the remaining cases and all, you have to write down the steps to follow. Right? You have to remember the okay, when to click there, where to go there. For this analysis, no need to remember the steps. If you save this file, automatically it will show you the steps. Yes. When to use H. For ma'am has asked a question because there are cases in MBA research also. There are second option is there in the t-test. That's what it's all about having the interest in learning. So second one is pair t-test. Pair t-test also two group comparison. Look at this. Pair t-test also two group comparison. But the only thing is samples are not independent. Samples are not independent. So what is the meaning of independent? I have asked the question. Are you prepared? Are you prepared online classing or not? With the sir. Ma'am. Each and every individual are independent. I take the opinion. But what is the meaning of pair t-test is I asked this sir before giving some training. And I asked the sir after giving the treatment. Look at the same sample twice. Before and after. Right? Before and after. So that sample is known as paired sample. Because I am asking the same person two opinion. It is not independent. So at that time I am using the pair t-test. Same option. If you click on the pair t-test, again the same option will be available. So variant will be there. This will be used in the campaign. For example, if we ask which political party will prefer, they say that A, B, C. After giving the campaign, which will be there? That's also there. Or at the knowledge level, you can assess the knowledge level.
Especially even physiotherapy.
Yes, physiotherapy and all. So for example, if you are taking the measurement of right hand and the left hand, this is also my hand only, this is also my hand only. So it is paired sample, it is not independent. If I am taking the measurement of left hand of mine, left hand of other person, it is independent. If you are taking comparatively, what is the arm strength of left hand and the right hand? Usually the sports department, physiotherapy department will do that. Comparing between the two. So at that time it is pair test. Or any pair test. Usually clinical trials and all. Before doing the yoga, what is your stress level? After doing the yoga, what is your stress level? It is pair test because same person you ask. So at that time two group comparison only. Okay? At that time male and female only. You have to select pair test. Next, last option is there. Since I have touched, I will finish that one only. One sample, no need to practice. What is the meaning of one sample t-test? So one sample test means I do not have a group to compare. I want to prove the definite value. For example, hemoglobin level of female is 10.5. Hypothesis, this group value is equal to particular fixed value. At that time you have to go for one sample test. Male only. Male hemoglobin level is equal to 13.4. One group only fixed value, one sample t-test. On an average sales of this store is this. One group t-test. Are you getting? So one group t-test may be also there. Two group t-test also may be there. Along with you have to ask that whether it is a paired sample or independent sample. So then I can select the option. So once you are familiar with independent paired sample, also same option. Okay, same option will be there. Next, last one for the hands-on. Last one for the hands-on. ANOVA. How many are familiar with ANOVA? Okay, so when to use ANOVA? Simple. More than 2. That's it. Comparison. Okay, I have to compare across more than 2 groups. Next question. Sir, I have only 2 groups. If I use the ANOVA, because ANOVA is for equal to 2 or more than 2 groups. If I use ANOVA for 2 groups, if I use t-test for the 2 groups, whether the result is different? No. Same. Are you getting? ANOVA is for 2 or more. Are you getting? 2 or more. So usually say that more than 2 groups only will go for the ANOVA. Next, if your data has more than 2 groups, I will go for the ANOVA. So what it will do? It will do the comparison of means only. Are you getting? It will compare the means only across the 3 groups. Okay, across the 3 groups. Here, next assumption is same. Sir, do you have the assumption? Yes. Sir, do you have the extra assumption? No. I have the only 2 assumptions. One is normality, one more is again the variance. Okay, normality assumption same, variance assumption same. But here there is one additional analysis you have to do. What is that? Suppose if you tell that whether the group wise difference is there. Suppose I am comparing the 4 groups. You came to know the conclusion that there is group wise difference. Okay, group wise difference. But you are not happy. Why? Because I came to know that 4 groups there is a difference. But which group difference? Don't you want? For example, there is a stress level of, there is a difference between the stress level of first year, second year, third year and fourth year. There is a group wise difference. But for me it is very important that which group wise it is different. Whether there is a significant difference between first year and second year, first year and third year, first year and fourth year. So therefore ANOVA, whenever you carry out the ANOVA, please don't stop when you came to the conclusion that there is a group wise difference. Next step you have to do and carry out that, it is known as post hoc analysis. Post hoc analysis or pair wise comparison. Once you came to know conclusion that group wise difference, you have to carry out the pair wise comparison. Otherwise ANOVA is not completed. If you get the result like there is no group difference, stop. There is no group because there is no meaning to compare between the groups. Because there is no difference across the groups only. So there is no meaning to compare between the groups. Okay, shall we go for that? Now click on ANOVA. Okay, click on ANOVA, first option. One way ANOVA. Okay, one way ANOVA. What are the option? It says self-explanatory. No need to wait for me. Just wait. I will have a research question and I will show you what are the variables to pass. Here, please select placement test score. Placement test score, because I want to compare whether the placement test score is, that means ability to perform placement score is same across the specialization.